You are listening to The Hayley Osborne Show with me, Hayley, your host. This is your place to learn how to become the superhero marketer in your business, to become the number one in your local community, both online and your surrounding areas. Every week, I'll be teaching you how you can achieve the best out of your marketing, your business, and be the most fearless superhero version of yourself. Small business owners are the backbone of the economy, and I'm here to demystify local area marketing to help you reach more customers. Between myself from South Australia and my wildly inspiring guests from across the world, I'm so excited to discuss all things marketing your business with you. I believe in you, so let's get started. Hi, Reever, and welcome to the Hayley Osborne Show. I thought we better press record because we could have been chatting for ages. I'm so glad you are here. How are you?
No, thank you so much for having me. I'm doing really well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So, in your own words, I would love you to tell my listeners who you are and what you do.
So my name is Reever Botha. Born in South Africa, emigrated to Australia 13 years ago. And essentially what I do is I started a company called PuraU 3 years ago. And what we focus on is creating innovative products for acne prone and digestive prone customers. And we're direct to consumer via our online e-commerce website.
Nice. So, I'd love to know a little bit. We'll get back to that in a minute, but I'd love to know a little bit about your business journey and obviously it's quite a successful business. So let's dig into that and how you obviously became to be so passionate about what you do.
Okay. Oh, it's just taking me back to the early days. So I suffered really badly from acne, all over my back and my shoulders, right up until the age of I would say from 16 to even 25. And right now I'm 28 years old. And my partner was the exact same, right? She suffered from really, really bad acne, all over her face and cystic acne, and it was terrible. And for us, it was, it was quite it was quite an emotional journey for us because we wouldn't I wouldn't wish acne upon anyone, even my worst enemy. And for me, I was the guy who, when all my family and friends went to the beach, I would stay home because I was too embarrassed to take my shirt off. So the struggle that we had is that growing up, throughout our acne journey, we never found solutions that would help us. And for me in particular, I would spend tens of thousands of dollars on remedies and treatments and stuff, and it never really worked for us. And it was quite frustrating because you're spending all this money and time. I'm on student wage. I was working at Woolworths. I was studying a business degree at the time. I'm like, fuck, I just want this to go away. I'll do anything for it to go away. And it wasn't until we actually networked with a naturopath. And she sort of explained to us, what the true cause of acne is. And, 90% of acne cases actually stem from an imbalance in your gut microbiome. And that was news to us. We were like, wow, we didn't know that. We just did the generic topical acne treatments, skincare treatments, right? So after about 6 months of being prescribed these intense, potent herbal extracts, my acne in particular went away after 6 months. And I was like, holy crap. The light bulb moment sort of clicked for me. And that's when we were like, well, why isn't this available to the wider market? We've been sitting here taking product for the last 10 years or 8 years with no result. And we just did this 6-month regimen to fix our gut, and our acne went away. And that's when, for me, that entrepreneurial light bulb moment clicked for me. I was like, well, I want to make a business idea out of this and help millions of other people, because it's a $1 billion market. And that's how the story was born, literally from our own experiences. And we decided that instead of taking 10 to 12 products every single day, which is what we did, why not condense that down into one complete solution that people can take every single day, just in capsules? And that's the idea of where our brand was born.
You've 10x that brand to the max.
Yeah, we've achieved some pretty incredible results. And I think that's just because we We are a consumer. We know how consumers feel, right? We had
Yeah.
acne. We know what it feels like. So connecting with our consumer on that emotional level for us is very easy for us, and easy in a sense of like, because we know how they feel, we know what they're experiencing, we know what they're going through, and also in a sense of like gut health isn't sexy, right? So we've made it fun, playful, and very educational and very informative, and something like we wanted to create a brand where people can really connect to, not just some product, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And over the last 3 years, that's what we've really been able to achieve quite well.
Yeah. So predominantly, and I said this before we press record, but predominantly on this podcast, I haven't really had any product-based businesses that have done what you've done. So this is nice and refreshing to have someone come in, because it is like difficult to not just like, marketing is hard, but you've managed in the last 3 years to catapult your brand, catapult your socials. How did you get started with achieving, like little bit by little bit success across your marketing? What was the first thing that you did to grow your business?
The first thing we did to grow our business was we leveraged PR really, really hard. For the first 6 months of launching, we made so many mistakes that I feel like most brands would have probably made in 2 years. Just thinking about it now, we leverage PR and relationships with journalists really, really hard, and that was a pivotal moment for us. I think from when we launched right up until 6 months, we were just doing Facebook ads, connecting with our consumers through like organic, like Instagram, because TikTok wasn't even a thing then, or maybe it was just coming up, but more so like through organic channels, Facebook. And then it wasn't until we networked with a few journos, and we saw some really tremendous, like massive results on PR. So that's what we did
Right.
early, and we've really leveraged that even to this day.
Yeah. So PR is a credit to getting started. Now, did
Mm.
you seek that out yourselves, or did you engage in an agency? Because that's huge. So so I have a membership, a marketing membership. It's called Superhero Marketing. And within that, I teach the members how to actually engage in their own PR. So what to do, how to reach out, because it's actually easier than people realize. So, and I've got all the swipe copy and templates and everything. So what did you do? Did you have an agency, or did you do it yourself?
So at the start, we actually had an agency, but my experience with them wasn't really good at all. And like any brand starting out, I would say like 99% of brands just starting out, because a lot of people do, like quite a few people message me and say, "Hey mate, like I'm just starting out, can you help me?" And it's like they've got a PR agency, they got a media buy, and it's funny that when brands start out, they always take that same route, and it's like, oh gosh. So for us, we did start with with a PR agency, but it didn't work out. We didn't see any results, to be quite honest, after about 4 or 5 months. So we scrapped that, and that's when I'm like, well, why can't we just do it ourselves? So we DM them. We use some VAs, and we DM them on LinkedIn. We search, like, for example, Daily Mail, Channel 7, news.com.au,
Love
9 News
this.
on
Yes.
LinkedIn. Yeah, because it's really good. So on LinkedIn, you can search for that, and you can see who all the employees are, and then we network with the journos. And I think we probably sent about 2,000 messages. I'm not even kidding, 2,000
Yeah.
messages, and we got all their emails. And we use a little widget on Google Chrome, an extension where you can blast email everyone out at once. So we
Yes.
blast email 1,000 people after DMing like 2,000 people. So we got like quite a few results, and yeah, two journos replied back, and that was all we needed to just go up like that. So
Nice.
it was really awesome. That's what we did.
I have a question. So what's the widget called for all of our listeners? Because they probably were thinking, yeah, but tell me what the widget is.
So the widget, so it's called Yet Another Mail Merge. So
Yep.
YAMM. It's a really cool Chrome extension, because what you can do is, if because what we do now is we pay a VA to gather data from journos through LinkedIn, and they generate that through a Google spreadsheet with like name, last name, and email.
Mm-hmm.
And Yet Another Mail Merge, what it allows you to do is it actually allows you to blast email like up to 10,000 people at once. So instead of you sending one email, copying it in a draft, pasting the recipient's address at the top and clicking send, you can just, the Google spreadsheet talks to the widget, and the widget just blasts email everyone through like the columns and the codes where it says name, last name, and email. And the widget talks to that and just blasts email them all at once. It's a really
That's
cool app. Like
great.
you can just go on YouTube. It takes 10 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. And I think as, particularly small business owners where, I think starting out, you don't have a lot of money. So you do need to come up with innovative ways to reach new people. And I honestly believe that if you have enough drive and passion to make your business a success, you can make any business a success, because when your back's against the wall and you have no choice, you will make it work. And if you're so passionate about your product like you guys are, I think, sky's the limit. And like you said, I want the listeners to understand that you said that you reached out to 2,000 people and you got 2 yeses. So that really just that's huge, right? And if it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's not easy.
100%.
So I think, tell me, what was the biggest turning point in your business journey?
Oh, I've got so many different ways to answer this. The biggest turning point in our business journey was, I would say, up until about a year ago, maybe even 8 months ago. It was just before, I'd say a few months before Black Friday last year. And essentially for us, was just getting really clear on our core demographic and who our customer is, and getting really super clear on our customer, but not just knowing the service level stuff. It's knowing absolutely everything about a consumer. So all the service level things, and then zooming out. And then it's like, okay, location, age, where they're from, what do they like, what don't they like, what are their emotional desires, tangible desires, skepticisms, needs, wants, what don't they like, and just zooming out of that lens and just really getting a really good understanding of who are they and how can we effectively communicate our product to our audience, because our product is quite a niche product, right? Not going to lie, it's very nichey. So we can communicate that in so many multiple different ways. And because we have so many core demographics, so many core customers, and yes, we can communicate to our acne customers exceptionally well because that's based on our own previous experiences. But our other core demographics, it's just like, how do we get super clear on that to open up more revenue channels and scale and grow? So I would say just getting super clear on our customer. And I think I probably spent, I would say 2 weeks on that, even surveying people, even surveying people and going to shops, watching how people shop and asking them questions. So things like that.
And it's a lot of work, but the rewards they are there when you are prepared to put in that effort, like really honing in. So, I think that's a catch-22, right? A lot of people are generally in business caught on the hamster wheel, and they're working in the business, but working on the business is where you get the most results. So, everything that I teach, a lot of the time people, don't have the time to implement everything. But if you did, then your 6 months might look like, next, like 1 week. So for you taking 2 weeks out of your business to send surveys, to look at what people are doing, like in the aisles, to do all of that, that's huge results. And that generates like an extra zero on your revenue and your profit, which is massive.
100%.
So
100%.
like, credit to you. Congratulations. Well done. I do talk a lot about showing up in your business. So if people are watching the recording of this, you are not the face of your business, but your partner is, right? So tell me a little bit about this. What was that deciding? Like, how did you come up with that?
So she has a health background. I have a business background.
Right.
And she's extremely passionate about all the health side of things, the formulations, the ingredients, how the product like intertwines and, communicates with the gut and the skin and the y-axis and the technical techie stuff of our product. Whereas I love the business side, the operational stuff, the numbers, all that sort of stuff. And I think we've been able to do that quite well. So, it is me, my partner that run the business, but we also do have another business partner who's in Melbourne, and him and I, we do all the operational stuff, all the day-to-day stuff. Whereas my partner loves to be the face of the brand, because that's her passion, right? Speaking about health, helping people, building audience, building community. That is one thing that she loves. And it's a great dynamic because it's two different brains thinking differently, if that makes sense. And yeah, for us, it's exceptionally well.
And what a beautiful combo. So for you, you're the business end of the deal. What are your top 3 marketing tips that you could give small business owners listening to this?
Biggest 3 marketing tips. The first and foremost, most important marketing tip I could give is just being just really clear on who your market is, your consumer, your target market is. And it's funny, people don't have one core demographic. There's multiple core demographics, but it's just choosing like which has the biggest market, which has the most pain, and going after that one, right? So that's the first tip. That is the first tip that I would give, because knowing your consumer for us completely turned the tables around for us, because we made so many mistakes leading up until like a year ago. And for us, like cash flow, like any e-commerce business, you need to have a fat wallet, right? So we made so many mistakes, but getting so clear on our marketing helped us to be increase our marketing efficiency, which drives down your cost per acquisition, helps you scale more, and all that sort of stuff.
So would you say it isn't a smart idea to be everything to everyone? What you do is be really niche with your messaging, and then kind of whoever comes on board comes on board. You can't target everyone, but everyone might buy your product, but it's your messaging that's got to be really clever. Does that kind of make sense? Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's because because humans, we connect and we feel through emotion, right? And that's how we feel connected to things, is it's through emotion, and that's how we communicate, even subconsciously. So understanding a bit about consumer psychology, and this was my second marketing point too, is really understanding so it's understanding your consumer, then it's understanding the psychology behind your consumer. Like, why do they buy from you? What do they like? What don't they like? Why are they buying your stuff, right? The whole conversion metric side of things. And it's getting really clear on your messaging and bridging your consumers wants, emotionally bridging your consumers wants with the outcome of your product. And that is what really makes people buy something, right? It's like anything. Like, why do females go and buy like a $3,000 Prada bag instead of a department store bag, right? Because it's how they feel wearing it. It's like how they're perceived by other women. Oh, she's bougie, she's rich, right? It's that whole how you feel kind of thing. So that is so important as well, and that's what really turned the tables for us, was those 2 massive things.
Yeah. So emotional marketing is where it's at. And I really believe that as well. And I think COVID has a big part to play in emotional marketing, because big brands had to think how to do things differently along the way. And that's, I think, really paved the way for small business owners too, because big brands, you could see that they started to go not backyard, but it got a bit more guerrilla-y marketing type of thing. And so it kind of made a really nice pathway for small businesses to realize, hey, well, if I can get on the emotional side of a consumer too, it's doesn't need big budgets. You've got to be very clever with your thinking and your words to be able to resonate, right? Because it's all about that know, like, and trust. And if you can build those 3 things in that order, the trust then leads to sales, and the trust is the emotion. So it's such a lovely dynamic. So in terms of, what would you suggest the one thing for a small business owner listening to do in their marketing right now?
Right now, what I would suggest that they do, so like literally right now. So I would say 95% of brands, that when they first start, this is what they do. They focus on selling their product. And what I mean by that is the product benefits and the features, right? And that isn't why people buy. And that is one thing that we had to learn the hard way in terms of like blowing our budget on our marketing, because the only way to effectively communicate your product to your consumer is speaking directly to their wants, not their needs, and the outcome of what your product does. And
the transformation.
That is essentially what someone can do right now, is creating what I like to call it is a problem solution outcome approach. You speak to their problems, provide your solution, and you sell the outcome. That's it. That is it. So like, for example, I'll give you a really good example, right? So for us, we have a really innovative product, right? So we know that our consumer is, when they want to get rid of their acne, they are more inclined to use products like skincare products, right? Makes sense. But for us, we have a new innovative way, which is fixing your gut, rebalancing your microbiome to fix your acne. So for us, when we first started our marketing, we were like, fix your gut health, fix your gut health. And everyone's like, no. Like, I don't want to fix my gut health. I just want to fix my acne. And so for us, it's like, okay, well, fix your acne then. then we'd notice like when we change our messaging about heavily driven towards acne, we were making sales. But because people don't care about the process, they just want it now. They want better acne. So they don't care about the process. It's just communicating directly to their wants and selling the outcome of what your product does, because that's why people buy anything. They don't buy the process.
So you could say the same thing for services, right? So selling the outcome of your product or your service is the way people will notice you, because they, you need to speak to their problem. That's the most important part.
Yeah, 100%. Like another example would be like B2B, right? So if you want to pay an agency to get you more leads, if you're an agency trying to sell, leads, if you're a media buyer, it wouldn't necessarily be I'll guarantee you 50 leads this month. It's I'll guarantee you 50 qualified leads, because for me as a business owner, I want to take sales calls. I can generate myself leads, right? But I want qualified leads. So the word qualified is what would attract me to then book a call with this person, if that makes sense. So it's all about really getting clear. And look, you won't really know that until you really know who your consumer is and know them so well to a point where you just list off the top of your head if someone asks you.
So with your business, obviously in health and wellness, it's, looking like the trajectory of $1 trillion industry. There's a lot of noise in the lane that you're in. How did you cut through that, especially in your marketing, to build success?
So it just came down to our product, our formulation, and just the uniqueness of it, just communicating, our different approach to target acne and building community and just making gut health sexy, just building community and getting people around us. And really just speaking to our brand values and why we're here and what we're here to do. And, like revolutionize the standard of product that's available today, because based on our own experiences, we learned the hard way, spending like 8 years of our lives with acne and how that made us feel, and blowing all that money on band-aid solutions, things that never worked for us. Right. So it's like, well, we've got a solution here. How do we best communicate this? And how do we build community around this for people to support us?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think as well, to kind of summarize that in a way for service-based businesses too, I often say, stay in your lane. There's nobody in your lane. And so if you're looking at what everyone else is doing, that's a surefire way not to grow. You need to just be true to yourself, head down, and focus on what you're good at, and then the results will follow. So where do you see your business in 5 years?
Oh gosh, where do we see us in 5 years? I see us with loads more products into every single retail store in Australia. I also see us opening up skin clinics as well and offering one-on-one personalized custom advice. So not skin clinics, like a clinic that's like a naturopath clinic where someone can come in, they can do a gut test, and then we have an app and recommends them all our top line products. And building lots of community and, growing overseas and growing our revenue channels, especially through the US, China, and Southeast Asia, which is actually what we're currently working on at the moment. So that's what us, and big head office, big teams, and that's where I see the vision going.
Nice. World domination.
Yeah, I think as a leader of a brand, right? You have to have that vision. You have to see beyond the muddied waters, because even like right now, like it's always like that, right? And if you're not working towards one massive, hairy, audacious goal, what are you working towards, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's really nice to have big goals, and, to know that if you're a business owner and you're listening to this and you are thinking, I just can't get out my own head, I can't get out my own way, I'm stuck in all of the menial tasks every single day, you've just got to like cut that away and have that bigger goal, and at least do one thing every day that's going to make your steps closer to achieving that, which is important. And tick it off right at the beginning. I call it a dread sprint. You got to dread sprint through the stuff that you don't want to do to get to the stuff that you do want to do. So
yeah, it's true, right? It's like, but like for us, like we're trying to build a brand here. We're not trying to build like a quick, we're not trying to make a quick buck. So for us, a lot of what we do is brand building, and we don't see a return on what we do. And we, for quite a while. So and we know that, we understand that, and like we want to build something here that outlasts us when we're not here. So
yeah. So one more thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have a mentor? Did you have a mentor? Like, did you, engage in help to get where you are, or, new level, different devil kind of stuff?
I love that saying, hey, at every level
So
there's a new devil.
good. It's so
It's
true.
so funny. It's so funny. Literally every single week, we're like, oh, we've just fixed this thing, and now it's like, oh my god, another thing now.
Yeah. Every business owner goes through it. And I feel
Yeah,
like social media paints a really pretty picture that it's just the way it is. It's like, no, you do one thing and then there's something else that doesn't work, and then you have to go and do that, which takes 2 or 3 hours, and it's just the way it is. It's so funny. So, final question I want to ask you is, do you have a mentor? How did you go all in? What does that look like? Or are you the reader and the podcast listener? Like, what does that look like for you?
so for us to start, we made a lot of mistakes early, and we were like, should we just pay someone to, give us all the tools and pay for all the knowledge and experience? But for us, we didn't have the cash flow. So what that looked like for us, I would say for the first 2 years, it was just putting ourselves in rooms with people that knew more than us. Because, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And for us, we leveraged networking events like crazy. We went on LinkedIn, message people, DM people, and instead of just saying like, oh, well, like, can you help me? It's like, well, what can you do for them? Like getting really clear on them. Like, okay, if you go on their page and look like they're into golf, right? Like, is there anything that you can tee up there? Like, oh, like, man, like I bought you a pack of golf balls, or like, you know what I mean? Like anything like that. And it's just building really, really good rapport and relationships with people. And that's what we leverage really, really hard at the start. And what we're doing now is that I do have a mentor now, more of like a personal development mentor, because it's funny, right? Going through my whole personal development journey, it's realizing that your business is just a reflection of you. All of the caps, all of the problems, all of the roadblocks in your business isn't about your business. It's all in your mind. It's all the limiting beliefs, all the roadblocks that you put subconsciously around you that you don't even realize. And for me, we've seen massive growth, I would say, in the past, just like literally in the past 3 months. And all by virtue of working on myself. And I think it's really important to have a business partner that is on the same level as you. So, because my partner is the exact same. My other business partner in Melbourne too. We're all on this crazy personal development journey, and we're seeing a tremendous results in our business. So
yeah, that's awesome. So if my listeners want to know more about you, where can they find you? Give us your Instagram details and website so we can stalk you.
yeah, so sure. That's all good. So for me, my Instagram is it's just at Reever Botha, just my first and last name. And you can DM me. I'm happy to help. Like I love this. I feel like I owe the entrepreneurial community something. I feel like everyone always says that, because I just want to help people not make the same mistakes as I made.
Yeah.
And if I had someone there as like a mentor, part-time mentor, I'd be stoked. So
Yep. And also Pura. What are the details for that beautiful brand?
Yeah, so PuraU, so at PURAU official, and that's our Instagram. So
Yep.
hit us up on Instagram, and yeah, we got some really cool things that we're announcing soon. So
Awesome. Well, I wish you so much luck for the future. You have a beautiful business. Your growth has been amazing. You should be really proud. And thank you so much for sharing your story on the Hayley Osborne Show.
thank you so much for having me.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. If you have, hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Tuesday. And while you're there, leave me a review. I would absolutely love to read it. Also, don't forget to tag me at Hayley K Osborne, HAYLEYK OSBORNE over on Instagram, and share this podcast with your audience so they can get learning too. If you want more, head over to hayleyosborne.com.au/podcast for today's show notes and links. I've also got an awesome free ebook, a new one, waiting for you on my website, the 10 essentials every local area marketing plan needs. And I will catch you next week for another episode of The Hayley Osborne Show.